this number 223313? Just change your number, please. Okay. Yeah. Let me go with this unit 3 today, because the first unit was arrival of English in India. Second unit is early Indian prose in English. And today we are going for unit 3, 20th century fiction. I'll be having a bird's eye view about unit 3, 4, and 5. We are discussing on R.K. Narayan's Dark Room and Raja Rao's Kantapura in this 1.5 hour session. Okay, I want to ask you something more. The first session I was there, Tirupati was taking Mahashweta Devi's Hazar Chaurasi Ki Maa, that is a translation of 1034 number. It's a very famous work of Mahashweta Devi. And after that, Fuzzy has taken the class. And so I think someone can respond from the student side. All the 3 classes went on today, right? Were you able to attend all the 3 classes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Even the last period, you'll be having the class. Mr. One of the resource person will be coming and taking you the class, and you can listen to him in the last paper. Okay. Okay. Let me go to the class regarding early 20th century, unit 3. Can someone tell me what is the unit number, page number?
17, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. Nisi, thank you. Yeah, all of you had your lunch? All of you had your lunch? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. But you?
Yeah, thank you, Sudha. But I'm not sleeping, and I'm not going to make any one of you sleep in the class. Okay?
No, ma'am. How about you? Did you have your lunch? I mean to ask.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Sudha. I completed my lunch. Okay. After your session, I was able to go. Anyway, page number 17. Please take page number 17. This is early 20th century fiction. So the objective of this unit is to introduce a major fiction written in English, especially R.K. Narayan. The full form of R.K. Narayan is Rashipuram Krishnaswamy Narayan. That is his name. And Raja Rao and Mulk Raj Anand. These are very, very important pre-independent period Indian writers in English. The aim here is to survey the kinds of writing that launched Indian fiction in English in 1920s and 30s, and so as to prepare for the more detailed studies of Narayan and Raja Rao. We are going to see the samples of Raja Rao because already many of you know about Mulk Raj Anand. What is a famous work of Mulk Raj Anand?
Untouchable.
Yes, Untouchable. Untouchable, right? Who is this who answered now?
Ramu, ma'am.
Ramu, very good. Good afternoon, Ramu. Yes,
Good afternoon.
Untouchable is a very famous work of Mulk Raj Anand. Even in the school days, we came to know about it because of the intrinsic worth of that character, right? How untouchability is more dominant in the on those days, and even now untouchability is a crime. And in spite of all the odds, how Baka is the main character there, protagonist, how he wanted to come out of the clutches of it, and what kind of, it's a tragedy. But in spite of all that, it was able to portray the staunch realities of the society. So in that way, we can see Mulk Raj Anand was able to touch the underprivileged sections. In this unit, we are going to see Narayan, R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao, and Mulk Raj Anand begin their writing career at the height of nationalist movement in India. Naturally, much of their fiction was devoted to trying grapple with ideas of the nation, Indian culture in its variety, the meeting of East and West, the problems of poverty, caste and class in Indian society, and nationalism. So these are the strong, prominent or eminent themes that they were able to discuss in their work. All these 3 people, because they are pre-independent, and we can very clearly see how important it is to portray the characters in the image of nation, because at that time India is still struggling for the freedom, and freedom movement is a part and parcel of all their work. They were also trying to see how best the English language could be utilized for their purposes. Many of these early novelists were concerned with the following questions. was it possible to use to talk about Indian realities? See, this is a basic question. We can see like English is not our language, it's a foreign tongue, because everyone has got a different dialect and different kind of language that we use in India. Every 200 to 300 kilometers, we have a new language. Here in Hyderabad, this is one part of Telangana. And before that, in the combined Andhra Pradesh, some are you from Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam, Rajahmundry, or some of you are from Khammam, Adilabad, somewhere else, because this is an online class. So many of you are coming from different parts of India. But all the combined Andhra Pradesh as well as Telangana, we can see the Telugu is the mother tongue. So even the state language, the first language is Telugu, because that is what state government is supposed to be, because it is the language where all the people are going to utilize that becomes the first language. When you go just 200 kilometers from Andhra Pradesh, after Kurnool, and if you cross Kurnool and Anantapur, you are going to enter the borders of Karnataka, almost nearby to the Bangalore. If you go to Chittor, Tirupati, and almost borders of Chittor, you can see again Tamil Nadu, right? Again, if you go back to Hyderabad, just 200 kilometers from here is Bidar. That means Karnataka. So every state has got, after crossing 200 kilometers, you find a new language, which is again a state language of that particular state. For example, in Karnataka, it is Kannada. In Tamil Nadu, it is Tamil. In Kerala, it is Malayalam. In Jharkhand, they have got again lot of dialects and tribal languages also there. In Gujarat. So everywhere, just cross 200 to 300 kilometers, you find a new language. If you see from that point of view, English is a foreign language for us. It is an invader's language. But in spite of all that, in the first and second unit, we can see how Indian were influenced by the Britishers because of their education policy, where 1840s, 1830s, we can take right from Macaulay's Minute. Macaulay is a Britisher and who framed educational policies for Indians. It is not the Indians, or only latter part Indians came into this policy decision making, but prior to that, it is the Britishers pre-independent period. All the education policies were structured and implemented by the Britishers for Indians, not for the Britishers. Okay. Keeping that in view, these people who are educated by the by the English people, they thought, is it possible? For example, if you call varanda, can you understand what is this word called as varanda? Now we all know that it is a Telugu word, right? Varanda. Can someone tell me what is varanda in English? Okay, you know what is varanda? What is varanda?
A portico, ma'am, like
yes,
corridor.
yes, it's a portico kind. And what are the other words that you can use for? Zaib, you want to tell something?
Sit out, madam. Sit out. Just
Sit
now
out. Yes, yes, it's a sit out as well, right? So you can see these two. But is it equivalent to veranda? No, it's a sit out. But still, see, generally in veranda, you don't find olden days arugu. Arugu. You know what is arugu? It is something like the front portion of the house, and especially in villages where people used to sit there. It is for multi-purpose. They can sit there along with their friends. Children will play in the veranda, or they can sit for some time on the bare stones. It's a very cleared kind of a place where they can sit and talk together. Elders will talk together. And even at the time of festival, lot of things can be done there. And night times, people may sleep even on verandas, right? So it is a multi-purpose place, but the portico is not the same. Do you think porticos in the Britishers will do the same thing and they can sleep on porticos? What do you say?
Not at all.
No. So you can see there is a difference between, though it is a nearby word, the purpose of veranda and purpose of portico is different. Purpose of sit out is different. Purpose of veranda is different. If you are using and telling a story about a cow, or about a veranda, or about something which is very cultural and geographically specific about that place. For example, I'll tell you one more. I'm just giving you some examples where we cannot explain the same thing in Indian languages. We can say that, whereas we cannot express the same meaning in English while writing any story or novel. So that was a concern for all these writers. That's the first point. Was it possible to use English to talk about Indian realities? What aesthetic theories, formal, that is the structure of the novel properties, could an Indian writer use from English tradition? See, all our drama, for example, who is the famous dramatist in Indian languages? Can you name one or two people?
Kalidas, ma'am.
Kalidasa, very good, Kalidasa. And in your MA, he is there with us. Many Indian dramatists. In Telugu we find Gurajada Apparao, and lot of even the Sanskrit we find Kalidasa. But there is a significant shift in taking the end of Indian dramas are always happy endings. That means end of the day, the protagonist is going to be happy. It is always a karu kind of thing. The starting point will be explaining about that. In between, they get some problem, and with lot of morality, with lot of experience, with the grappling issues, protagonist is going to overcome the problem, and finally, the end of it will be happy ending for Indian dramas. Do you agree with me? Do you agree that after, I mean, for that matter, even you take media of cinema, end of the day, everything will be good in Indian cinemas. Is it something new you find, or is it common in Indian cinemas or Indian drama? What do you think? Is it a positive ending generally?
It's very true, ma'am. And if the ending is not concluding with happy ending, Indians don't like to watch such movies.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
They say it's
Now,
incomplete.
yes, Sudha rightly said, the psyche of Indians. See, we are very positive oriented, and end of the day, it is the bad is going to be punished and good is rewarded. This is what our all dramas, or for that matter, even we don't have a novel form, but we have a lot of drama. Shakuntalam, you can take Abhignana Shakuntalam or Mega Sandesham. These are all something which there is lot of problem. Drama has got all elements. You can see all kinds of, there is a comedy in that, seriousness is there. You can find all elements of drama in that. But in spite of it, the end of it will be almost like we can find 95% of Indian dramas are positive towards life, and they are very specific role of protagonist. He will be, or she, generally he. Women protagonists are very less in Indian comedies. In spite of Abhignana Shakuntalam, Shakuntalam, it is not about Shakuntala, not only Shakuntala. Shakuntala is a victim, as well as the strength of women is always portrayed in a positive way. And it's more about sacrifice and strength of that particular thing is highlighted in the dramas. Whereas when it comes to Shakespearean drama, what do you think? What kind of Shakespearean drama? You might have heard about Othello, King Lear, or tell me some names of
Merchant of Venice.
yes, Merchant of Venice, All Is Well. And so all these are the dramas. But generally, why Shakespeare is so famous for? Famous for what? Is it for comedy or for tragedy? Tragedies, right? But one peculiar thing in Shakespearean drama is he always have got an universal truth. So that, I mean, generally Western concepts are more a tragedy, and tragedy is a purgation. Purgation means cleansing. By seeing that or watching the drama, the person who is going to see that scene, he'll repent for, I should never do like this. That means the purgation will come inside the thought of purgation, the thought of cleansing will come to the person who is watching the drama. That's a main crux of Shakespeare. For example, in the King Lear, I'm giving some examples for you. You get connected with it. That's the reason. Okay. So whenever you see the King Lear has got a big ego. I is very tall in King Lear. But a very peculiar question he is going to ask all his daughters, all the 3 daughters. How much you love your father? Is it not very, very, very funny to ask, like to ask a daughter, how much you love me? Is there any yardstick to ask, like, is there any point in asking a daughter how much you love me? It is for fun, it is fine, but it is a very serious question. And based on the answers of the daughter, he gave all his kingdom as well. And he thought like he justified it. End of the day, we come to know after completely seeing and watching the drama, you will come to conclusion, if a person should never have that much of ego, where you are always judging the people. Second is, you cannot judge the book by the cover. The third one, Cordelia, she's a very, very third daughter of King Lear, and she's such a fine personality. And in spite of that, she got killed. And the father in him, the father in the King Lear, feels so bad about his decision making. After watching that, the person who is going to see all that trauma of King Lear, they will decide. If you are watching the drama, you will decide for yourself, I should never have that much of ego in me, or I should never be such a stupidity should never be there inside my life. At least I should be able to be more wise in my life decisions. See, after watching a tragedy, after the death of King Lear, the King Lear drama will be, it's a tragic drama. And finally, you with a heavy heart, you will come out of the theater. I mean, theater, it's not a film theater, it's a theater where dramas are going to be performed, right? Do you know anyone what is the name of the Shakespearean drama on those days where his dramas were performed? Do you remember anything like that?
Globe, ma'am.
First year, you make
Globe
a
Theatre.
homework. Yes, Shakespeare dramas are performed. What is the stage name? Tomorrow you should tell me, next Saturday. Yeah, make a note of it, and that's a homework. You see what is drama and how it is important for Shakespearean drama to perform there. What is the name of that theater? Okay. If I tell everything, you don't do anything at all. That's the reason.
Globe Theatre, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, now I able to listen to it. Globe Theatre. Okay, yeah. Was it possible to use English to talk about Indian reality? So keeping all this into consideration, what they thought is many of the Indian writers who are writing in English, they have this kind of questions. What type of questions? Was it possible to use English to talk about Indian realities? What aesthetic theories formal, that is the structure of the novel, could an Indian writer from the English tradition? So our kind of an understanding, as Sudharani rightly pointed out, if even today, if you find a cinema, very rarely we find such kind of movies. If you are Telugu person, you'll understand. Swati Mutyam is almost 30 years, very, very old film. But you can see the protagonist is a very innocent person. In spite of that, people try to adapt that quality because the innocence in them, the naturality in the picturization, everything went on very well. The protagonist is not a normal, portrayed as a normal great hero with the different qualities. There, you remember Swati Mutyam? Anyone remember Swati Mutyam? It's Kamal Hassan's. Yes. You please remember that story where the protagonist, that means we don't call hero, heroine in our literature. The main character is called protagonist. The protagonist is two people. Female protagonist is Radhika, who is again a widow. So by the medium of cinema, they want to show a change in the society. A person, another male protagonist is Kamal Hassan. And the plot is around between two people. One is a widow who is coming back to the village, very, 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 very kind person. And she got a small child again. And the male protagonist is Kamal Hassan, who is a specially challenged person. Do you relate that? You can see many people, but generally what are the qualities of a hero? He should be tall, he should be fair, he should be, male protagonist should be very fair and very tall and very brave, and he should always go to the rescue of people and rescue of the heroine. All these qualities are not shown in the Swati Mutyam. Do you agree with me? But in spite of all that, we were able to watch the movie, and it was a big blockbuster on those years. Why? Because it is very close to the heart, it is very close to the nature, it is very close to the society, and more and over, it is not a comedy. In the end, you can see all of them will die, right? But it is, I mean, Radhika will die, and the female protagonist will die, and then in the flashback we'll come to know what happened, and in the end, even male protagonist also is going to disappear. But in spite of all that, we were able to get the feel of a life, right? Generally, do you find that kind of movies are more or less in Telugu cinema or Indian cinema for that matter? What do you say?
Very less, ma'am.
Very less, right? Very less. Very good. Why? Because generally see now we can see many movies are coming where we don't know why they fight, we don't know why they are jumping, we don't know why they dance, and we don't know why they shout. And now you can see the film is all about sound, color, and plot, and almost like 20% or 30%. But other than that, it's all about camera, color, photography, all that have taken over the story and the plot and the big heroes. So we don't find the heroism is all about now. What is heroism? What is the protagonist will do in nowadays? We don't have theater no more. We are having the drama theaters, but it's a film theaters that we see. Give me the protagonist qualities nowadays we watch. Just give me some examples. General qualities of a superhero or hero or whatever that is in Telugu or another film. Another films in.
Yes, ma'am. Mostly negativity is emphasized more nowadays. As of a matter of fact, we can say take this movie Pushpa, where a smuggler is like he is designed as a hero of the movie, and all the negativity is given more prominence nowadays. And they are like, in fact, antagonist is a protagonist now.
Yes. Okay. Let me come back to you, Sudha. And Deepthi wanted to tell something. Deepthi, tell me. Deepthi?
Ma'am, nothing, ma'am.
Yeah.
By mistake exactly.
Okay, by mistake you heard that. Yes, Sudha. Can you observe something? And this protagonist who are negative, okay, we took one example of it. Tell me any other than that, what kind of qualities that we see generally in the Telugu and any Indian normal 90% of movies. Who is the protagonist basically in Indian cinemas?
The one who has good virtues and responsible, like doing the right things and protecting the laws of the land. So such persons are portrayed as protagonists generally in Indian.
What gender? What gender?
Yeah, mostly male or female are also there. Like female
is
are also
what
there,
is the percentage? What is the percentage of male and what is the percentage of female protagonist?
Male 70 and female around 40-45, ma'am. Like they are very less.
You are so good,
to
Sudha. At least you are so hopeful about it. Generally, 2% of women and 97% of male chauvinism is shown. That's what we can see from a survey. Women are portrayed in a very, very shady way. So that is also one reason we are coming back to this point. Did English twist or modify Indian myths and stories? See, whatever that we were trying to see are all portrayed in very, very shady way. Shabby means it's a very kind of negative portrayal that we see nowadays. Okay, finally, who would be the readers if they wrote their stories in English? Select Indian who knew the language or Westerners. I'm coming back to the fiction here, page number 27. That is the last point that we can see. So when they are writing when they are started to write the stories in English, they thought, who are the people who are going to read? Because 95% of Indians don't know English in 1900s. It's not 2022. It is 1900 and somewhere 1870s, 1890s and 1920s. How many people know English and who will read our stories? So again, if the Western person or Western people are going to read English, then they should be able to understand Indian culture, Indianness as such. So these are questions are important because they have continued to be center of debates about the nature of Indian writing in English well into the 21st century. So this is the first introduction that I gave. You can go for page number 18, the nation in early Indian fiction. So what is the role of nation here? Okay, Narayan means R.K. Narayan. Rao means, who is Rao?
Raja Rao.
Yes, Raja Rao. Okay, they tried to create a microcosm of India. So they wanted to have an idea about India. So in a nutshell, they gave an example of it. For example, Malgudi days, right? Malgudi days, R.K. Narayan Malgudi days. What is the name? Malgudi. Malgudi is a microcosm of South India. We can find all the characters more or less related to South Indian cultures, right? So they started to create a microcosm of India in their fictional small towns Malgudi by R.K. Narayan and Kantapura by the Raja Rao. There is always a spirituality and a philosophical understanding of life in all these poets. Remember, they are not a very peripheral writers. In spite of irony and we can see a lot of significance of philosophy and religion and life in these writings. Okay, critics have argued that Narayan, for example, is talking about universal categories. In other cases, he is as shown as Malgudi as a metaphor for India itself. This is not an easy interpretation as well. See, the nation is construction by first showing a microcosm of the country itself. This is achieved by focusing on locality, community, and identity. See, these are very, very important. For example, if I ask you, which part of India you belong, then someone will tell like, ma'am, I belong to Hyderabad. Then immediately I may ask them, or someone say, ma'am, I belong to, okay, from which part of Hyderabad you are? Tell me someone other than Hyderabad. Anyone here other than Hyderabad?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Ramu, where are you from?
Vijayawada, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Another person, someone said, Gayatri, where are you from?
I'm from Khammam, ma'am.
Khammam, very good. Shahnaz, where are you from?
I'm from Mahbub Nagar.
Very good. See, another, Zaib, where are you from?
Vijayawada.
Vijayawada, again. Galaxy F41, it's a very peculiar name. Huh? Who is this Galaxy?
Madam, I am from Rajahmundry, madam.
మీ పేరండి?
Mallikarjun Rao, madam.
మల్లికార్జున్ రావు. నీ పేరు రాసుకోవాలి కదమ్మా మీరు.
Okay, madam.
గ్యాలక్సీ మిల్కీ వే అని చదవలేను కదా. మీరు ఎంత గొప్పవాళ్ళు అంటే గ్యాలక్సీ ఎంత గొప్పవాళ్ళు, కానీ మీ పేరు రాసుకోవాలా. రాయండి, మీ పేరు రాసుకోండి, గ్యాలక్సీ రావద్దండి. ఓకే, ఇంకొకరైతే 223313 ఉంది. ఏంటది? ఎవరు వీళ్ళు? 2233.
Our meeting, ma'am.
Okay, passcode. Please don't keep that, and please rewrite your names. Okay, see, why I was asking you is locality. So someone is from Khammam, someone is from Adilabad, someone is from Vijayawada and some other place. So I'm asking you which part. It is a locality. From which locality you are coming? Vijayawada. Vijayawada is known for lot of things, especially it's a nearby to new capital of Andhra Pradesh, and known for its mirchi, red chili powder, and for mangoes, and geographically well located, and lot of summer is soaring summer there. See, these are all the speciality of Vijayawada, right? Can you tell some more speciality, Jainab and Ramu? Can you tell what are the
Durga Temple,
unique features of Vijayawada?
Durga Temple and Krishna River.
River, ma'am, marriage, and very
It is situated in
Vizhayapatam
a
Fort.
hilly area, ma'am. It is surrounded
Ah.
by mountains, hills.
Very good, very good. Yes, yes. See, Zaib said very important, and as well as even Ramu said it, right? Krishna river is there, and Krishna is a perennial river, right? Jiva Nadi. That means it's not going to dry even in summer, right? And second thing is it's a hilly area where you can find lot of fauna and flora and fauna, and lot of medicinal things are available. And it is famous not now, even before the independence. Its prior name is Bejawada, right? It's now it is Vijayawada. Before that they used to call it as Bejawada. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Even today, people call it as Vizhayapatam, ma'am.
Yes. So they see, coinage of name is not very simple. But what is the reason they changed, and what is the reason before it was like that? See, if I tell something about the story of Vijayawada, I am not going to skip at least one or two mention of Krishna river or the hilly area or establishment of that place, and food of that. Vijayawada is known for lot of pickles, right? I think I'm getting some words. Alina Nazneen, can you please mute? Or Malik? Okay. Nazneen. Alina Nazneen. Yeah, thank you. See, that's the reason, focusing on locality, community that you live, and identity. So if I ask you, what is your name? Ramu can be any Ramu, but Ramu has got a surname, and he is from Vijayawada. His mother's name, his father's name, his identity, ID number are unique than other. You have 5 Ramus in class. Just think about it. Ramu can be any name, right? Any person can be from Hyderabad, can be from Vijayawada. Maybe even in your own class, you have many Ramus, right? Ram. So the Ram, the number one is K Ram. Number 5 can be Ram, N Ram, or number 15 can be Yes Ram. But all these are going to be identified by their number. That is in the education system. But generally what we see in our 10th standard is, they will write your mother name, they will ask for your father name, and finally they will ask you your mole. Mole, they write how many, 1 or 2 columns will be there, where they say like your right hand got a mole, or what are the marks of physical marks. There is a scar in the left hand, or there is a mole in the left cheek, or something like that. They'll see, and our teachers will observe and write that. Even in your 10th class mark memo, they are going to mention this identification marks. What is the reason for that? What is the reason why they write all this?
It doesn't vanish throughout our life, ma'am. It remains forever.
Yes, it is going to have an identity that the so and so person is same person whom they are claiming, right? A simple example I can give you. You go for an Aadhaar card. Everyone has got, it is mandatory to show the Aadhaar card for whatever the reasons, right? So what is the identification in Aadhaar card? Is it your name or thumb? What is your identity there? Is it your name or Aadhaar number?
Aadhaar number.
Aadhaar number. Even Aadhaar number may be misplaced. But what is your uniqueness? What is the uniqueness of that particular person?
Photo or fingerprint, ma'am?
Yes, very good, very good. Gayatri, Priya, everyone is trying to tell. Yes, your fingerprint is unique. All over the world, you have crores of people. But Chaitra has got this, has a different fingerprint. Deepika got a different print. Deepti got a different print. Ramu got a different fingerprint. Everyone has got a different fingerprint. So that is what your identity is. So it can be that identity, or you are belonging to this place can be an identity. When you are in Andhra Pradesh, you say, okay, you went to Delhi. You met some Telugu person. He is from Hyderabad. You are from Vijayawada. you know, when they start speaking Telugu, what do you identify? Oh, meer Telugu valla, isn't it so? See, Zaib is from Vijayawada. She went to somewhere in Mysore, and there you met another Hyderabad. Then immediately they say like, oh, you are from our place in Hyderabad, right? My mother place is Hyderabad and I stay here. Or my grandfather's place is Hyderabad and my parents settled in Vijayawada. But still you feel that identity that you belong to one place, that is Telugu land, right? Same way.
Yes,
but you
ma'am.
are not
Actually,
going. Yes.
my loss. My husband is from Hyderabad, ma'am. I feel the difference in dialects in Telugu, ma'am. In this Telugu, even I feel a lot of difference from Vijayawada and Hyderabad.
Yes, Zaib. You can see Hyderabadi people can never speak like you, Telugu. In Vijayawada, a Muslim speaks very good Telugu. They speak very good Telugu, they write Telugu, and many of them even can't identify they are a Muslim people. The dialect, Deccani dialect is less. The influence of Urdu and Parsi is less in Vijayawada, whereas because of the Nawab and because of the, you know, again, geographical conditions, Hyderabadi Urdu is different. They are Dakkani. They don't speak like Urdu people. But they don't speak like Vijayawada. You can find the Telugu of Vijayawada Muslim speaking population. They are far better than in Hyderabad. Generally, they don't speak Telugu. They speak only Urdu, and everyone understands Urdu. I mean, not even Urdu.
Don't know Telugu, ma'am. My kids don't know Telugu at all.
Yeah, because generally you are not speaking Telugu at home,
Yes,
right?
they are brought up here, no, ma'am.
Yeah, that's the reason. Yes. So see, this is all again. Can you see the locality influence? Can you see the locality influence?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, there is always an influence on our kids, even on us when it comes to language, food habits, and not only food, even clothing as well, right? These are all influencing, and that is reflected in literature. That is the smartness of literature, or we can say that is the uniqueness of literature. Whatever that we undergo in our life is mirrored in the literature when the writer is going to write about that particular character. Locality is constructed by situating the tale in what could function at a prototype of India, a suburban town, a village, or a city. The Narayan's Malgudi and Rajarau's Kantapura and Kushwant Singh's Mano Manja are localities that stand in for India. So you can see these are all Indian English writers. Kushwant Singh, even you know, very very famous writer, Indian writer, and a very revolutionary writer, we can call it as. So in that way, right? And the locality is used made of close-knit community. The community itself diverse, made up of diverse classes, castes, and group. So you just go about it. Why the nation is early in Indian fiction? How they were portrayed in this. You know, this is one short answer question. It may come for you in course of time. That's the reason. Realism, language, and the novel. So in realism, you can see close observation of life, a detailed category of everyday action, a stylish. This is very important to observe. An observation in Indian writing is it is very simple, but in spite of it, it is very stylish. What kind of language they use? It's not flowery language, but very simple language, effective language. You can read R.K. Narayana just like that. It's not complicated. It's a very simple story, and it gives lot of fun. Lot of satire and humor is there. Vyangyam antam kada. హాస్యము వ్యంగ్యం అనేది వీళ్ళు రాసేటువంటి ప్రతి రచనలో కూడా చాలా చాలా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. చాలా సింపుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ లో ఉంటుంది. గ్రౌండ్ టు రియాలిటీ అనేది చాలా, అంటే రియాలిటీకి చాలా దగ్గరగా ఉన్న కథలన్నీ వీళ్ళు రాశారు. సో రియలిజం, లాంగ్వేజ్ అండ్ నావెల్. దిస్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వన్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్ యాజ్ పర్ ద ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ. లెట్ మీ గో ఫర్ page number 21. The partition and Indian fiction. So at the time of partition, what happened? What are the difficulties of the partition? And what kind of engagement we got? See, very recently we are able to watch Kashmiri Files, right? It's only, don't be swayed away by, yes, there is a strong reality in that. But in spite of that, we should not see only one side of the coin. Remember, who is telling the story is also important. Yes, definitely Kashmiri Files is one part of Kashmir's history, past history. At the same time, the other side of the coin also, we should be able to see what happened. So everyone portrays in one way or the other. Same way, partition and Indian fiction. What happened to thousands and lakhs of people who were butchered? Hindu, Muslim, Parsi, Sikh, everyone got killed in the name of partition. See, Britishers made a grave mistake and we paid with our lives. Remember, it is not the problem of Pakistan or India. We were all together. We were brothers and sisters, irrespective of whatever the religion. But in spite of that, the third person made a big mistake, and we paid with our own blood and sweat with all Indians. In spite of all said and done, Pakistan is our brother, right? Pakistan is our sister. But we can't say like just because they are from other religion, we cannot tell them like they are from the, it's only that borders they have divided. But what about the mother who is born there? Our own Lal Krishna Advani was born in Pakistan. Our Manmohan Singh's forefather are from Pakistan. So you can't tell Pakistan was a part of Punjab on those days just because it got divided. Okay, let me come back to our own place. So partition has got a lot of painful stories. Don't listen to one side of it. Don't be judgmental. Listen to everything. And in course of time, if you read and understand the stories of partition, you can understand the pain, agony, and the grave mistake done by the Britishers while leaving. They left India with a blood marks. And we paid for that. We should always remember, we all paid for that. At least South Indians to some extent were unable to, the scars are not so visible. When it comes to North India, especially with Punjab and the borders of Kashmir, we find the blood is, the partition gave a irreparable and incredible loss to the families. So keeping view of it, irrespective of any religion, it can be Islam, it can be Sikhism, or it can be Hinduism, or whatever might be the case. All are human beings. With that point of view, we should be able to understand partition and fiction. Okay, so what kind of novels are at the time of partition? The nationalism and national identity. See, again, the problem here is in whose where we are taking the stand. So this kind of Khushwant Singh train to Pakistan, you can see the bloodshed there in 1961 after the partition. What happened to the families? What happened to the children? Okay, I don't want to go for that, but right away I want to tell one example. Just think about it. All of you think about it. We are now in India, safe and secure. We are witnessing from one month. We are witnessing bloodshed war in Vietnam and the Ukraine and Russia, right? So Ukraine and Russia, both the we are not going for political point of view. We are going from a humanistic point of view. What happened to the 12 lakhs of people who migrated, families, women, children? Are we not having that solidarity with us, whether it can be from Russia or from Ukraine? What happened to their families? We are just boasting that we go for Mars, we are going for moon, we are going for everywhere over the planet, and we are conquering the science. We are reaching every nook and corner. But what happened to humanity? So then the literature comes. We are witnessing a great war now, and in front of us from 1 month, we are watching how people are separated, families are separated, daughter and father is separated, son and mothers are separated. And who is paying it? The women are paying it, the families are paying it, the children are paying it, the elders are paying it. Can we see the literature there? Yes, lots of stories will come out now. Even while watching the TV, you feel bad about it. We all feeling bad about it. Don't you feel like this is something which is very wrong going on other side of the world? Yes, it's going on. We are witnessing the same way. The Train to Pakistan is 1961, written by the Khushwant Singh. You sometimes read that novel, how pathetic it is, how pathetic situation. At least now we were able to give food and all that items. At least 10% we were able to help the people. But think about a small child who is born 2 months old, and their mother has to go out. Only whatever that they can carry is a little bit of water, food, and they have to migrate from place to place. Think about their life. See, these are all the fiction that was portrayed in partition and Indian fiction. And coming back to early 20th fiction and the post-colonial, what is post-colonial? That means after colonial period, what happened? So these are some points which we addressed, and you can have very important questions here. You may get 1 or 2 questions about R.K. Narayan and Rajaram. The main themes of the novelist in English are, 1 second, what is the time now? 4, half an hour still there. Okay. Yeah. Are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How many are with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We are.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. I want to watch.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Deepika, Gayatri, Kanya, Sajida, Sridhar, G. Sridhar, G. Sridhar. Venkatamma, what happened to you? Kanya. Okay. Venkatamma, raise your hand. Okay. Sridhar, what happened to you? Sajida. Sajida. Okay. All of you are going to. Okay. Now, Tabassum, switch off your microphone.
Okay, wait, ma'am.
Okay, I'll wait, my dear. Tabassum asked me to wait. Shall I wait for some time?
Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Now, how many were able to understand? Lower your hand. Are you following me? Lower your hand. If you are following, you're not following? Okay, all of you are following. Very good. You are listening to me attentively. Very good. Very good. Yes, I can see all of you were able to. Okay. Now we completed the 3rd unit. We are going for 4th unit. What is the page number for 4th unit?
Page 25, ma'am.
25. Very good. 25. Missy? Yeah, Sudha, 25. Shweta, are you there, my dear? Shweta? Sajida? Sajida, खाना के लिए चले गए क्या? Sajida? Sajida. क्या कर रहे हो भाई? శ్వేత ఎక్కడ పోయినారమ్మా మీరు? చెయ్యి ఎత్తే పెట్టినారు అంటే లేరు, చెయ్యి పెట్టేసి వెళ్ళిపోయినారా నా దగ్గర? ఓకే, విల్ గో ఫర్ 25. ఓకే, వీళ్ళు చూడండి చక్కగా చెయ్యి ఎత్తారు, చెయ్యి అంటే మేము ఉన్నాము అని చెప్పారు, మరి ఎక్కడికో వెళ్ళిపోయినారు. ఇదే కదండి ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్ అంటే? ఇదేనా ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్ అంటే? అందరు వింటున్నారు లేదా నాకు తెలియాలి కదా. శ్వేత ఎక్కడున్నావు తల్లి? సాజిదా చూడండి అస్సలు పలకట్లేదు ఈ అమ్మాయిలు ఇద్దరు. ఓకే, కొంతసేపు తర్వాత మళ్ళీ పిలుద్దాం, ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడో ఆన్ చేసి ఎక్కడికో వెళ్ళిపోయారు. ఓకే, page 29 we see R.K. Narayan dark book, right? Dark room. See, this is very simple lesson, and you definitely will get 1 or 2 questions from R.K. Narayan. Okay, R.K. Narayan is Rasipuram Krishna Swami Narayan. I think they might have given the expansion of his name, but anyway, you remember that it is R.K. means Rasipuram Krishna Swami Narayan, was born in Chennai. So now it is it's not Madras. On those days it was Madras. Chennai in 1906. Narayan spent part of his childhood under the care of his maternal mother, and he graduated from, this is all biography of him, the family and gender roles. Narayan's main focus, page number 26, take page number 26. Narayan's main focus is slow erosion of a woman's individual identity within the family. In a sense, the novel is an attack on the myth of ideal family by showing how the family is a space where gender roles are often decided by men of the house. The protagonist is symbolically named Savitri after one of the most revered models of Indian womanhood. She does all that is expected of her, serves the family with utmost diligence. Despite of this, she has no role play in decision making. The cook is unhappy, but she cannot feed him. The child is ill, but she cannot tell him to stay at home. Narayan criticism of the family system focus on the following. See, this is a very subtleness of Narayan. He portrays the dark room. The dark room, that means a very dark, where you don't find any light. What's the reason for that? It's a portrayal of a normal housewife. Even today, you can find this kind of lacks of women around us. Remember, there is no decision making. I will ask you a very simple question. Who will decide the breakfast of the family? Who will decide the breakfast of the family? What to do and what not to do? For example, who is the head of the family? I'm asking a very simple question. Who is the head of the family?
Father or husband.
Okay, father or husband. Very good. Anyone else?
Children decide breakfast, ma'am. What's the breakfast?
Oh, very good, Zayeb. Children. Before coming to the...
Ma'am, the mother-in-law will decide, ma'am.
Husband will decide.
Mother-in-law.
Yeah, mother-in-law will also decide, right? Generally, when I said who is the head of the family? Who is the head of the family?
Mother-in-law only.
Mother-in-law only. Great. Tabassum, you got a great mother-in-law.
Exactly.
Good. Good that you got a great mother-in-law. But generally, I'm not speaking about that. Generally, in general, people think like father or husband is the head of the family. If the head of the family is going to take, because why he is head of the family? Because he is taking all the responsibility of the family. Then is he taking the responsibility of food of the family? Is he cooking the food for us? No, he is earning the money and food is cooked. Who will cook the food at home?
We only.
We will cook, right? We don't say we. We should say women cook at home, right?
Women.
It can be mother, it can be daughter, it can be daughter-in-law, but end of the day, it is the women who will cook. Why Ramu is very quiet? See, Ramu is not playing any role here because Ramu thinks like he can listen now. There is no need to play a role here. Why you are all excited to tell? Because no, Ramu, I'm just telling you like how people play role, what kind of roles people play. That's the reason R.K. Narayan is focusing in the dark room. Decision making for the women is very, very feeble in the family system. That's what he wanted to tell in a very subtle way, very genteel manner. But he is focusing on the idea of protagonist here, the women protagonist, and how her powerlessness, her indecision. That means the decision is not taken. It can be a breakfast or buying a flat or keeping the money. How many women know how much money is deposited in the bank, how the LIC should be paid? Is it my children and I am coming under the LIC policy? If see, all of a sudden in the pandemic, many people got disease. That means they are no more. What happened to their families? What happened to their children? What happened to the head of the family, whether mother or father is expired? Then what is going to happen? The husband is a very nice person, but he never explained the financial commitments to the wife. He's a very wonderful person, or she is, and they are very good couple. And in spite of all that, the husband never thought like I should give information about the financial status. That means how much fees is paid to the children, how much earnings he is doing, how much he is saving in the bank, and what kind of insurance he has got for the family. Nothing. Many of them don't know about it. Do you agree that pandemic has shattered the families? What is your opinion? With that, I'll go ahead. Tell me, what is your opinion of in the first wave of pandemic and second wave of corona? You saw so many people, so many families shattered. What can be the main reason? Of course, the disease that the virus took away the individual. But why? Is it only because of the death, or is there any other reason why family shattered? Just give examples from everyone point of view. Tell me now. You can unmute yourself one after the other, not by one after the other. Give some examples, because this is directly related to the decision making of the family and gender roles. Tell me some examples from your side. Hello.
Devastation, ma'am, literally.
Yes. Why?
Due to loss of jobs
Hmm.
and financial things, and we have to meet everything,
Hmm.
the needs, both ends meet, everything.
Okay.
That's how during that time there was some problems families, some individual families had to face. In
Okay.
addition to that, this of phobia of being just closed in enclosed rooms,
Hmm.
yeah,
Do you
many other
find
things.
any behavioral problems on those even today because of that in the children in the family?
Obviously,
Behavioral,
actually,
psychological changes, emotional
they might
changes.
have gone to extreme close together, or else they might have divided also. There were many things happening, but however, we see in the news that most of the families were separated. But whereas we can also see that those who were together, they did not say it out, right? Probably, most of the families they got so much closer together. They understood that who is our real carer, caretaker, literally. Parents supported and children supported parents, and that
Very good.
bonding is actually strengthened,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. This is one point, Ramu. Anyone else want to speak about this? What happened to the families who got disease? All of a sudden, someone expired, and what happened to those families? Anyone want to speak about it? We saw every family was touched by the pandemic, right? During the Corona period, one way or the other. Any other examples that you want to tell? Why you are so silent? Is it a tough question? Are you there with me, my dear students?
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
there? Yeah, Zaib, tell me what happened. Zaib, tell me. Zaib, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me, Zaib. Are you want to tell something else here? Zaib?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me. I'm listening. I'm all ears. Kanya, you want to tell something?
Came to know about the economic
I,
situation. First, the wife
every
doesn't
family
involved in such matters, ma'am.
in the, yes, in the hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Kanya,
Hello.
tell me. Your voice is not clear. Tell me again.
Everybody, like people who were elders in the family, they came to realize the like level of money, how the point of how to it used, and even the riches, even the like people, good earning people also learned a good lesson, like how to use it, how to save, and how to again
Okay. Okay.
reuse
So
some of
in
the
that
things.
way, we can see like there are a lot of examples we can give, right? Okay. Zaib, you want to tell something?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the ladies were first not involved much in this financial matters, ma'am. But later on, after this pandemic, they came to know about this financial condition. They were also involved, and they learned much more from this banking system, everything, how to transfer everything. Somewhat involved, ma'am.
Yes.
The
Is
wife
it
was also
important or
involved
not?
in such
Is
matters.
it important or not?
Yes, ma'am. This is very important, ma'am. This is very
Yes.
important.
Yes. See, pandemic even taught many lessons like more than money, relations are important. It taught like how it is important to have a simple life. It taught many families after losing their head of the family, losing their mother, losing their fathers. We came to know like it's important to be more humane, right? And decision making also. What is the, all of a sudden husband गुजर गया तो पता नहीं चला कि इतने दिन कैसे चला. So you should understand, or all of a sudden the wife expired. What will happen to the children? How to take care of the children? Then all of a sudden elders at home guzar gaye. So what should we do now? All these years they were taking care of the family. So it was a collective responsibility of the family, and It's a very hard lesson that many of them were able to understand in the society, right? So this is what we can see in family and gender roles, even in this small story where we were able to get into R.K. Narayan. Priya, you want to tell something, dear?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. When Savitri leave the house, see, this is I'm speaking on 26th page number. Last 10 minutes, I'm going to finish 4.2. Page number 26, fourth lesson. I don't possess anything in this world. So Savitri leaves. Savitri is the name of the protagonist in that R.K. Narayan's work. I don't possess anything in this world. God possesses can man, women call her own except her body. Everything else as he is her father's, her husband's, or her son's. See, all the life you are just questioning the canon of this. Like she belongs to her father's place. She belongs to her husband. She belongs to her son. Then where is the place to her? See, this is even today we have this big question here in front of us. When Savitri, what Savitri is saying that her entire identity comes from somebody else, her husband, father, or son. She owns nothing. Even her identity is not her own. When Savitri leaves the house, she leaves behind the bestowed identities. We are giving two contrasting women characters here. Gangu, who left home when she pleaded and went where she liked, moved about without an escort, stayed back at people and talked loudly. Another woman, Pony, who had rescued Savitri when she tries to drown herself, gives her a piece of advice. Men are good creatures, but you must never give way to them. Be firm and they will behave. So this is a kind of keeping the social, political, and cultural view on those days. It is not something new even today, right? 100 years back, what R.K. Narayan wrote is still a strong and very naked truth that we can see even today in our daily life. So he was trying to tell from different women point of view, women from different social strata, what kind of decisions women should take and how they should be firm, but not running away from the society or running away and going for a taking away their own lives. So Narayan characterization of Gangu and Savitri is essentially a comment on different ways in which women lose or gain their individualism. Being an independent woman and maintaining that individuality, that means strengthening the women's character, not from a conventional and traditional point of view. See, you can see all these writers are very, very pro-democratic. Remember, they are very revolutionary in their thought. We are speaking about this story almost 100 years back. Isn't it so? So we can see what kind of situations, what kind of patriarchal society was there. In spite of that, R.K. Narayan's voice is very clear and loud. Being a male, he was able to take the stand for female here. Okay, so you read all the story. It's a very beautiful story. And with this individualism and the women, the question may come for you. And, what kind of how Narayan show the role of family in construction of gender role. And right, you can have another question like, what is an identity of women in R.K. Narayan Savitri? So that kind of questions may come. It's a very interesting question. And you can see the novel deals with women question, especially with gender role. Okay. So the last unit is unit 5, Kantapura. You need a break, my dear, or you want me to continue? Last 5 minutes is there. What do you say?
Please continue, ma'am.
Oh, Nisi, why don't you get one coffee for me, dear?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. You can't send, but I'll have my coffee here. Okay. Yeah, listen to me. Raja Rao's Kantapura. Raja Rao's Kantapura, page number 31. Raja Rao was one of the first 3 major writers of fiction in English, along with R.K. Narayan and Mulk Rajani. So these are the 3 trios, as we said, and this is Kantapura is a very, very, very famous work of Raja Rao. Why? Because this is Serpent and the Rope in 1960 philosophical tale, and it gives a consciousness of history and myth as well. Okay, so Raja Rao makes of a traditional mode of storytelling, and lot of myths are involved in Raja Rao. Remember, Raja Rao is it's something mystical. Mystic nature is there in all his storytelling. And example, he was a time scale when he was a non-Western. You remember how Krishna, when he was but a babe for 4, had begun to fight against demons and had killed the serpent Kali. So too our Mohandas began to fight against enemies of our country. For example, see, we all tell stories to our children, right? See, ek tha Raja, ek tha Rani, right? Once upon a time, you start with the story. Anytime started like all of a sudden, it will tell like once upon a time it happened, right? The question starts with once upon a time. So anytime, it can be any time. If I say something, it is a very big country. Then how much big? Children will ask you, is it that big as a bedroom? Or they will ask you, is it that big as a ground floor? Again they'll have a question, is it that big as my basketball fort? In spite of all that, you'll tell no, you imagine the very big. Then they'll tell, okay, that is very big. See, you can, imagination is something which is beyond your explanations. Do you agree with me? Okay, I'll give you one more example. I'll give you example in Telugu as well. एक था ना, इतना बड़ा था. कितना बड़ा था? बहुत बड़ा था. कितना बड़ा था? और भी बड़ा था. कितना बड़ा था? बच्चे ऐसे ही पूछते हैं ना, कितना बड़ा माने बहुत बड़ा, कितना बड़ा, और भी बड़ा. आप जब भी बोलते रहते చాలా పెద్దది. ఎంత పెద్దది? మన ఇల్లంత పెద్దదా, మన ఇంటి ముందర ఉన్నంత పెద్దదా, లేక మన తోట అంత పెద్దదా, లేక మన చెరువు అంత పెద్దదా? అంటే పెద్దది అన్నప్పుడు ఆ పిల్లల యొక్క ఇమాజినేషన్ బట్టి అది పెద్దగా ఉంటుంది. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You know, story always gives expansion of our wings to the creativity. That's the reason we should read stories, because you get connected to that. I'm telling you so many things to you in between. See, you went to Ukraine, you went to Russia, you went to Pakistan, you went to Punjab. You are sitting in your own, in front of your camera. In front of your laptop or maybe in your mobile. But are you not traveling 1 hour with me all the way? You traveled with Ukraine, you went to the airport of the Ukraine, you went to so many places, you went to the hilltop of Vijayawada, you went to Krishna River, all these places without moving even your finger. Isn't it so? Are you not able to visualize that? Yes, that's what storytelling is. You are trying to get connected to that through your imagination, through your creativity, and through your experience as well. That's what Raja Rao is very, very famous for, his creativity and mystic nature. Mystic means he can tell like, you saw Krishna, the little Kanaya, the little fellow, very, very naughty person. He took away all the curd and he used to go out. He's a very, very, mischievous boy. So you can find that kind of Krishnas in and around you. Your own son may be like that. Your own daughter may be like that. Or your brother is like that in your younger days. Or your sister is like that, like Krishna. There is no need like Krishna should be male as well. Okay? ఆ చిన్ని కృష్ణ లాగా అన్నప్పుడు అతను చిన్న బాబు కావచ్చు, పాప కూడా కావచ్చు. కానీ వాళ్ళు చేసిన అల్లరిని మనం ఎక్కడికి తీసుకెళ్తున్నాము? మిథికల్. That means you are taking them away from thousands and thousands of years back, a mythological character, and you are making the present boy or the present small naughty girl that you are so naughty and mischievous all the time. That's what we get connected to Chota Bheem. How many like Chota Bheem here? Tell me, how many like Chota Bheem? Do you know Chota Bheem? Who is Chota Bheem?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good, Priya. You are my friend then. I like Chota Bheem. Okay, you also like Chota Bheem. It's very good. It's a very good storytelling. There is always, Chota Bheem is always strong, very small, very wise. You may think like, what is this? Dr. Madhuri is head department of English and she is a professor, elderly person, and she likes Chota Bheem. Yes, because the storytelling of Chota Bheem is related to all our life. Or you can find a lot of characters like, what character? Superman. How many you like Superman? You don't like Superman? Okay. Then
Yes,
I
ma'am.
like Superman. Okay. No one likes. Pramod likes Superman. Wow. Priya likes Superman. Okay. Then I ask you, what is this? Krish. How many like Krish? Who is, you don't know Krish? Okay. You're all very good people. I am a very good child, right? So you don't know many things now. Oh, many of you know Krish also. Very good. So you try to see the young creative minds. We can see that, and that's good, ma'am. Today, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take another 5 minutes because the next person, Sujit, is not feeling well. Okay, are you there with all of you are there with me? 26 participants are here. Sujit
Yes,
is
ma'am.
a counselor, academic counselor, and he has got some problem with his health. And just now I got the message from him stating like he cannot take the class and he's suffering something. I'm extremely sorry. The last class won't be there, so I'm extended this for 5 more minutes. Is it okay for you? We'll finish the unit 5 and last class you're not going to have anything. Okay, my dear?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
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 Okay, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So the myth, history and language in Kantapura, you can see the Raja Rao is known for mythological stories. Okay. Once again, Rao explains the present time of mythic past. The relief from colonial domination is compared to release of the ancient and virtuous Hindu kings from his woes. The yoke of the woe, like the yoke of colonialism, can be shifted by being virtuous when the gods intervene. There is no historical explanation of anti-colonial struggle, but the myth ones serve the same purpose. See, there is always a comparison because it's a pre-independent period, and Britishers are almost like demons. Demons, and in the in the picturization of Raja Rao's story, and gods will intervene to. This is again a creativity. It's not like where do you find God or something like that. But the virtue or the wise people are going to rescue Indians from the clutches of colonial literature or something like that. So he's always very powerful creator, and a lot of mythology and philosophy is also included in Raja Rao's Kantapura. Okay, and Gandhi influence. This is according to examination point of view is also very important. Gandhiism and the moral economy of Kantapura, and nationalism in Kantapura. This is one of the prominent idea of what is nation and nationalism in Kantapura. Page number 35. One of the most striking features of the novel is attempt to show how a small village can function as a metonym. What is a metonym? Can anyone tell me? It was there even in the first year. It's a homework. Okay, do that. Metonym.
A part taken
METON.
as a whole, ma'am.
Yeah.
Part as the
Yes.
whole.
Yes. You can give a lot of examples for that as well, Sudha, because you
Yes.
cannot understand that, right? Next time you remember and remind me as well to explain what is metonym so that everyone will understand with examples. Okay.
Yes.
Or metaphor for a whole country. The village of Kantapura is a microcosm of great changes and events happening across the entire subcontinent. For example, you can take even Corona. One part, Sudha, where do you live? Where do you live in Hyderabad or Vijayawada? Where do you live?
Hyderabad, ma'am. Kukatpalli.
Okay, good. See, Sudha said she lives in Hyderabad, and one place called as not Hyderabad is almost like 40 to 60 kilometers expanded in geographically, but he stays in one part of Kukatpalli. So at the time of, I'm giving one examples of, metonym, right? Kukatpalli is affected by pandemic. Whole of Hyderabad is affected by pandemic. But in Kukatpalli, there is one area where it's a Z category or something like a lot of infection happened, and so they said like it is going to be some category where that kind of categories are there 20 places in Hyderabad. If you tell Kukatpalli is some place where the restrictions are more because lot of population is there, then immediately you can say yes, even that happened in Medipatnam matter, or yes, it happened even in Sainik Puri, or you can say yes, it happened in Uppal. So these are all metonyms. Maybe whatever happening in Medipatnam or Uppal or some parts of Lakdi Kapul or in Kachiguda, lot of population are there and they got some restrictions about this. So if you speak about Kukatpalli, you are still speaking about all the gated communities are affected or something like that, then you always remember like all the other things are also having the similar qualities and quantities of the same kind of treatment. So this shows like they are all having the prototype, or maybe it is showing the microcosm of the seriousness of that particular issue. Okay, So the nationalism and nationalism in Kantapura is also portrayed. What it means is difference of cultures and language must be ignored in favor of greater idea of nation. The nation represents and therefore an erasing of differences in favor of single concept, idea and identity, India rather than Tamils, Bengal or Assamese. This is what repeated again. And you can see this is an important novel. Kantapura is an important novel because it shows Indian writers negotiating the problem of a foreign language, use this to tell their Indian story. Kantapura is a story of village transformation during the freedom struggle, is a local historical story, but has larger issues and questions in it. It combines myth and local history with a specific form of Indianized English to narrate the story. It shows how a local history can be narrated through the use of folklore, but also through the use of ancient and shared histories. In this, it rejects Western modes of storytelling. Remember, with this, we are completing the unit 5. You can see first block got completed today, and we'll be going for second block in the next few minutes. Not today, but maybe the next class. Okay, the last class is not going to be there for you. Read well. I know, like from morning onwards, you are listening to different lectures. Revise your books and the rest. Have you started writing the assignments? All of you started the writing assignments. Have you started writing the assignments?
Yes,
Priya
ma'am.
said yes. Ajay
ma'am.
said yes. English. Gayatri said yes. Are you? All of you raise your hands. Raise your hands. Who started? Who started? And
Yes.
who were unable to, don't worry. Please do start. I mean, please read and start writing. Please read and start writing. Don't worry. Chaitra, you haven't started. And Kanya, okay.
Ma'am, I
Missy, okay.
unable to raise the hand, but I started.
Oh, very good, very good. See how you are responding, Kanya. Very good, baby. And Alina, Nazneen. Nazneen, what happened, Nazneen? क्या भाई आप इतना बिरयानी बना रहे हो, हमें खिलाते नहीं हो, फिर भी आते नहीं हो. अलीना कहाँ गए? नजनीन, नजनीन तो चले गए, पता नहीं कहाँ चले गए. Okay, all of you have started the writing and good. You complete as soon as possible, and today whatever happened, revise your books. All of you got the books, right? All of you have your books. If you don't have, please contact your, who is this?
Ma'am, I have not started, ma'am.
नाजनीन क्या हो गया, कहाँ चले गए आप?
मैम वो ओपन करने नहीं आ